at WEC, but I have taught in Key Stage 2 back in the UK. Thank you, Ms. Patel.
Hi everyone. Yeah, like Miss Lee said, it's nice to see so many familiar faces from last year and how much the kids have grown, which is lovely to see. And we saw many of them in our phonics lessons, so most of the children know who we are. But yes, it's been great so far, and like what Miss Lee said, we've only had them for half a year, so it's nice that we can have them now all to ourselves again. And yeah, my background, I've been here at WEC, just like Miss Young, for about 6 years. And I started off at FS and moved my way up, and I'm now in Key Stage 2. And I had a different career background in the UK. I was in law, so my background in the UK is law, but then I came to Dubai and trained as a teacher, and I'm loving what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm looking forward to meeting you all soon.
Okay, great. So we'll move on to the children's specialist teachers, because obviously the children aren't with us for the whole day. So here we've got the Arabic and Islamic, which Miss Lee are going to introduce.
So we were just saying previously, there's not too many new faces there. I think the only difference will be Mr. Salah will be teaching Arabic A for some of your children. The children have all had their Arabic lessons this week, or they've started their Arabic lessons this week. So your child should know, hopefully now, who their Arabic teacher is. Obviously it's working a bit differently this year. The specialist teachers are coming into our classrooms and live streaming. But yeah, hopefully your children know who their Arabic teachers are.
So you've got Arabic A in the middle, and then Arabic B over on the right, and then Islamic on the left. And then Miss Patel's going to introduce music and French.
So on the left of the screen, you've got Miss Colleen, who will be the children's music teacher. So last year they would have been familiar with Miss O'Neill, but in Key Stage 2, it's Miss Colleen. And the children are already familiar with Miss Colleen because she pops in all the time whenever we need help. And the children have already had their music lessons and they're really enjoying it. And I can hear them singing while sitting in the corridor outside, which is lovely to see. And on the right is our new French teacher, Miss Melanda. And the children are also familiar with her as well. And yep, so far it's all good news with all of them, and they're fantastic. They're really enjoying the French this year, which is good, which is great to hear.
And that leaves us with PE. So again, lots of faces that I'm sure you'll recognise. We've got Miss McCulley for the girls, and Miss Robinson, who's a new PE teacher this year. Miss Rayner's also going to be with the girls, but as some of you may know, she won't be with us for too much longer because she's going off to have her baby. So she will be replaced. So I didn't add an extra photo in there because we're waiting for confirmation of who's going to take over for the girls. And then for the boys, we've got Mr. Cole, who's in the shirt here with the pink tie. We've got Mr. Moriarty in the middle, and then an old familiar face, I'm sure, is Mr. Stone. So they are the PE staff this year. And we're very lucky that we have the capability to allow the children to actually go and have a socially distanced PE lesson outside of the classroom in a big PE hall. So that's really exciting. It also helps to break up the day for them. So they all love the opportunity to go to PE. Timetable. Who did we say was going to do timetable? Was that me?
Me? I'll do that one, Miss Young, yeah. So the timetable is not too different from last year. It still covers maths, English. They still have their French lesson allocated once a week and a music lesson as well. And assembly still continues. And as Miss Young said and Miss Lee said, the specialist teachers come to the children apart from PE. Where the PE teachers come to collect the children and they go off. The only slight difference is we've got, where you've got 5 English lessons, we have English and we have guided reading lessons as well. So you'll notice this difference there. There'll be no phonics lessons, but we incorporate it into our guided reading lessons.
Sorry, just to go back to phonics. I mentioned to the ladies earlier, that a question I often get asked is how are we going to support the children who still need help with phonics? This year will be slightly different, but we've decided that we're going to support children on a more individual basis. So during guided reading lessons, during non-Islamic time, and during morning sessions and enrichment times, we'll make sure that the children who still are in need of phonics support will be supported. Miss Lee.
Yeah, so just a reminder about school timings. So the doors open at 7:25, and now that the children are in year 3, they are obviously able to come into school on their own and find their classrooms, which they've actually been really great at this week because we weren't meeting them outside anymore. So they've done a great job of finding their new classrooms. The children must come into school before 7:45. If they are coming to school after 7:45, unfortunately, they are marked as late on the register. So please make sure that obviously your children are in school before the national anthem at 7:45. Pickup is at normal time 3 o'clock. And thank you for being so flexible with our pickup spaces. I know they've moved slightly this week, so well done for finding us outside. We've still got our posts outside. So yeah, please make sure you're on time to pick up your children at 3 o'clock and early pickup on a Thursday at 1 o'clock. It's really important to note that there is no late room this year, so please ensure you're on time to pick up your child. And yeah, exactly the same for drop-off. There'll be no late drop-offs, so please ensure obviously that your children are on time so they're not missing any of their learning.
Miss Patel.
So as the attendance goes, it's not different from last year. There is a minimum requirement, and that is a KHJ requirement of 96% attendance by all students. And please, obviously given the circumstances, do not send your child to school if he or she has a fever or any cold or flu-like symptoms, and please email your teacher. And also on the first day of calling, and there's the email address there as well, where you need to email the reception team to notify them of your child's absence. And leave, if you are applying for any leave during term time, again, you will need to email absences, and there will be a leave form that you will need to complete, and it needs to be approved by the principal. And the leave on the right, it's got the application cert, so obviously consideration will be given for emergency health reasons, any bereavement of a relative, or any religious holidays. So they will be taken into careful consideration. And also, if you are asking leave for a close family wedding, or looking at school in another country, or leaving school to move to another, again, consideration. But you will, please do not try and ask for leave for family holidays, family birthdays, traveling, just an occasional long weekend, or any other reason. Please make sure that it is for a genuine, valid reason, please.
Uniform. Miss Patel, sorry, this was you as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, so uniform, you'll notice a slight difference in the uniform from last year. So the girls and the boys both are looking very smart there. Come in with the shirt, the cream coloured shirt, and a tie. And you have the choice of the tie. There's a clip-on tie, or if the children are confident in wearing the tie, they can wear the ties themselves. And they must have the top button fastened. And as always, we have a rule: if we see any of the children in the corridor with their shirts not tucked in, we just give a gentle reminder that their shirts need to be tucked in at all times. They are permitted to wear a watch, which is totally fine. Sweaters as well, obviously in the cooler months, they'll be allowed to wear that. And as well as trainers. So if you look at the school shoes, please try and make sure that they are coming to school in the correct shoes and not trainers. And the socks should be either black, navy, or white. And sorry, Miss Young, is there anything on the left? Because my screen is covered on the left. I'm trying to move my. Is there anything that I've missed on the left? Because it's blocked.
No.
Just, Ms. Patel, if I could just say, just make sure, as in previous years, everything is labelled, just so that obviously your uniform comes home with your child every day. Obviously, we get lots of cases of missing hats, missing jumpers. So yeah, please just make sure that your child's uniform is labelled, and they are obviously responsible for that.
Yes, and just sorry to add to that, which I forgot, PE days. Children need to make sure they come to school in their PE kits on during the PE days, which you will see from the timetable that's been sent to you.
So I think we've all got PE at the same time, haven't we? Sundays and Thursdays.
Oh, perfect. Yes, yeah. So Sundays and Thursdays.
Yeah, nice and easy to remember. First and last day of the week, PE uniform. Right, breaks and lunches. Was this you, Miss Lee?
Yeah, it was. Thanks. So at the moment, obviously with everything going on with the pandemic, all food will be eaten in class. I mean, obviously, if anything changes, we will be letting you know. So children are eating snack and lunch in the class. I know a few children have been ordering their packed lunch from Slices. So if you do need to do that, you can see the email address there for Steph Foster. So yeah, just get in touch if you would like to order a packed lunch for your child. Again, we just want to reinforce healthy snacks, lots of fruit, things to keep them going throughout the school day. Don't want to see obviously lots of junk food, obviously trying to promote healthy eating. So it'd be really great if you could reinforce that message with your children as well. Water is a really big one. Obviously there are no water dispensers around the school at the moment, so there is no additional water, so your child must come to school with enough water for the day. And I know that means that their bags are quite heavy at the moment, especially when they're only little, but please ensure that your child is sent to school with enough water for the day. Nothing's changed with the no nuts policy. That includes Nutella as well. Please don't include any nuts or pork. And if there are any allergies, as always, just let your class teacher know and report it to the medical team as well. That'd be great.
Thank you, Miss Lee. I also meant to say at the beginning of this, but I got a bit flustered with the sound issues, that if you do have any questions as we're talking, you can type them into the chat function, and Mr. Waterworth and Mr. Cooper will be there to hopefully answer some of your questions as we go along. So the next thing we're going to talk about is sleep. I actually did a little bit of research about sleep for 7-year-olds, and the recommended sleep time is 10 hours and 30 minutes. We've noticed this year, and we notice every year, that sometimes children come in and they're very, very tired, and it really does affect their ability to learn that day. So we recommend 10 hours and 30 minutes. And then if any children are struggling with sleep, the recommendations are that a warm bath will help the child to relax, keeping the lights dim on the sort of lead up to bedtime, having a relaxing story or music, make sure the room's dark, quiet and tidy. There's a temperature recommendation there of 16 to 20 degrees, and I think an important one for us adults as well is no screens in the bedroom at night time, because I don't know if the children have iPads and things, it's very tempting to check your iPad. And also there's a lot of research about how blue light affects your sleep hormones throughout the night. So yeah, that's something that's just really important, so that the children can make the most of their school day and come in refreshed in the morning. Ms. Patel's got promoting positive behaviour.
So again, we've got the traffic light system, which we had in place last year. So we have the green, yellow and the red, where we would like to see all the children on the green as always. And if they are obviously having some kind of behaviour issues, and thankfully they haven't, which is lovely to see, then it moves on to the yellow, and red is where we don't want to see them at all. We're still continuing with the dojo points, where they are rewarded dojo points for the WEC learner profile, so being a critical thinker, being a reflective learner, being resilient, responsible, and various others as well. And they are also linked with the specialist teachers as well, so they are also able to give the children house points as well. We have a house leaderboard, which still is continuing based on the house they are in, and it gives us the information as who is the lead at the end of the week. And same as last year, we have our WEC learner of the week, where somebody will be chosen on a Sunday for being the WEC Learner of the Week for any of the WEC Learner profiles that we have in school.
Okay, communication. Was that you, Miss Lee, or was that me?
I think that's you, Miss Young.
Me, oh right, I was waiting for you to start, sorry. Okay, so we've got several methods of communication which you'll recognise, I'm sure, from last year. The Padlet, of which the link has been emailed to you, is for any year group communication. So this includes home learning, newsletters, curriculum things and web links. This will also be where the skills boost activities are kept and the spellings. So Padlet is really like a one-stop shop for everything you'll need on a year group level. Then we've got the D6 app. If you haven't got this downloaded, I would highly recommend that you download it. It's where all of our sort of whole school newsletters, year group newsletters, any communication about changes in the people or things like that, that's where that's communicated to you. So it's an app that you can get on your phone or on an iPad, I believe. So that's a really important one if you haven't downloaded that one. Email. So as teachers, we'll use email for individual communication with parents, and sometimes if there's something that we want to send to you as a class group of parents, then we'll email you. Face-to-face communication is quite nice this year. Actually, we're seeing lots of parents at the beginning and the end of the day. If you want to book an appointment to see any of us, obviously with the current climate, just let us know and we can arrange a Zoom meeting with you if it's going to be sort of a longer session. Eventually, so in the next few weeks, we will set up an Instagram account. That's currently not active at the moment, but that's where we will have things like photos and videos. So you can, children are getting up to during the day. There is also a WEC Facebook page which has more school level things on it. There's the GEMS Connect app where you can do a lot of your kind of admin stuff on there, and Steph Foster is the person to contact about GEMS Connect if you're having any problems. And then obviously there's always the old-fashioned phone call, which we use for any sort of more urgent communication, or sometimes it's just nice to have a phone call rather than an email. So lots of different ways to communicate with you, but hopefully that's
Can I just add on that one, Miss Young? I, as a parent, have downloaded the D6 app, and it's the best thing, because sometimes when the teachers email, they get lost amongst all the other emails as well. And if there's anything urgent, it just comes up as an alert on my phone, and it'd be something that I've forgotten or whatever it is. I'll be like, oh gosh, yeah, thanks for that reminder. So yeah, that D6 is amazing.
Okay. Photo permission. That's you, Miss Lee.
Thank you, Michelle. So we've got we've had a photo permission list through already, but please let us know, obviously, if your child does not have photo permission, because obviously our photos are shared on social media, on displays around the classroom. They could also be put into school newsletters. So please let us know if you do not consent to your child having their photo shared with these places. Sorry. So yeah, we are aware of a few children, but if you haven't yet told your class teacher, please let them know. Then they won't be included.
Great. So home learning menu, Miss Patel, or is that me?
So that was you. Oh yes, yeah, that was you. Sorry.
Okay, so home learning. So home learning is submitted on a Sunday, so that's the same as you are used to from last year. We use a menu. We really encourage you to use the home learning menu, because this is where a lot of the more creative subjects are and ways of learning are in the British curriculum. We do really like the children to learn to be creative. And we find that this really helps them. So there's the home learning menu, which we encourage you to choose 2 things from the home learning menu each week. This year it will be a little bit different, because we will send home a home learning book, but we won't be able to receive it and then send it home like we would normally. So home learning will have to be uploaded onto Seesaw. So if you do some home learning in the book, you'll just need to take a photograph and upload it onto your child's Seesaw account. And then we can have a look at it that way. In addition to the home learning menu, we also have spellings. So spellings happen each week. And like I said before, they'll be on the Padlet. We expect the children to read every single day. It's one of the most fundamental and beneficial things for children to do, to read every day, minimum 10 minutes. It just affects everything in school. So yeah, very important. We have something called an accelerated reader. So when the children read books from school, which instantly haven't gone home yet, we're just waiting for confirmation on how we can make that process really safe for the children. But when they do start bringing books home from school, they will be bringing home an accelerated reader book. Now these books are levelled books, and each of the books is linked to a quiz that the children can do online. When they do their quiz, it totals up the words that the children have read and gives them a total. We have something called a word millionaire, which is when the children have read 1 million words, they get a certificate and a big celebration. In addition to this, we also have Timetable rock stars. So the passwords for all of it will be going home, not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. We'll be sending home the reading passports with all of the passwords to Timetable rock stars, Education City, Accelerated Reader, and so that will be there. But again, we would encourage you not to send those back into school. We would encourage you to take a picture if you'd like to celebrate. You know, if you'd like to keep a running record of the books that they've read, take a photo and then upload to Padlet. And we'll be having a reward system for that so that we can track who's been reading at home. And this is also me. So here are our topics that we typically study in year 3. So at the moment we're doing volcanoes and earthquakes. Now this has a focus on Europe. So each year group has a different continent that they focus on. So in year 3 we do Europe. So we look at volcanoes in Iceland and in Italy, particularly at the eruption of Vesuvius. It's a topic that the children love, and it's a topic that I decided to put at the beginning of the year this year because it's got a lot of sort of fundamental skills-based learning in it that obviously we're going to try our best to catch the children up with, because obviously they've had 6 months at home. We then study a plant-related topic because we study plants in science. In the past we've done rainforest, but it might be that we change it up a little bit this year to perhaps do something more to do with tribal people or something along those lines, but it will be plant related. We then have to study in year 3 the Stone Age to the Iron Age, which is usually the children's favourite topic, either that or an ancient civilization. Children seem to love history in year 3. So that's a good one. And then we usually base another one on a story, so that's got more of an English focus. In the past we have Leon and the Paper Tweed, which has got a theme of kind of circus and magic tricks, which really captures the children's imagination. And then I've briefly mentioned it before, we also do an ancient civilization. So in the past we've done the Egyptians, and we've also done the Shang dynasty in China. Obviously add that we will let you know which ancient civilization we're going to be studying. Yeah, so that's it. And that's the end of our presentation. So thank you for your patience at the beginning there with my technical problems that I was having with the computer. And yeah, thank you for listening. Is there anything anyone else would like to add? Miss Lee or Miss Patel? Anything I've missed?
No, I don't think so, Miss Young. We've just got a few questions. Yeah. The Padlet login details should have been shared via email from your class teacher. We sent the link, but maybe if you still don't have it, just email one of us and we can just send you the link again. No worries.
I think we put the QR code on here. for the Padlet.
Yeah.
You don't actually need the username and password, I don't think, to log into Padlet. As long as you
I think you just passed it, Miss Young.
Did I?
Yeah.
It's on the communication page.
If they've got their phones in front of them, they can just scan it using the camera.
That's
I
it.
missed it because you're
There it is, yeah.
There we go. Right, I'll just move you out of the way. Yeah. So that's
Miss Young and the Year 3 team, thank you for that. We just had a question about Epic and whether children were going to use last year's accounts or whether you were going to set up a new account for them this year.
we're setting up new accounts for them this year, and that will come not this Sunday but the following Sunday, along with all the other passwords.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Passport, yeah.
With Epic as well, they've unfortunately they've changed their details. So I don't know if the Year 3 teachers know this as well, but you can only access Epic now during because it's an American app. You can only access it during American timing. So that may cause a little bit of difficulty at some points during the day, but it is something that we can still utilise throughout the week, especially as we want to encourage reading at all times. So just bear that in mind if and when you're trying to sign in and it says you're not allowed in at this time.
Yeah.
Have we got any more questions? Are you going to talk about the Padlet here?
Just to add, no, I wasn't going to talk about the Padlet. I was going to talk about reading. So Miss Patel and I, and I'm not sure about Miss Lee, also have had some requests for recommended reading books for Year 3. So we were actually researching that today, and so we will send that out to you in the next couple of days.
Fantastic. Is there any more questions that anybody would like to ask the Year 3 team before we leave the meeting? If you'd just like to post it in the chat now. I don't know if you can see the chat, Year 3 team, but you're getting a lot of thank yous here.
You're welcome.
Ah, that's lovely. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, okay.
There's just another
question.
sorry,
Have you seen that, Miss Patel, yet?
Yeah, it says, will you send the reading passport home for reading? I think Miss Young mentioned it earlier, that we will be sending the reading passport home where we can attach all the passwords like we did in Year 2 last year. We'll stick it on the inside, but you won't be able to send the reading passport back to school. But if you want to keep a reading log of the books that your children have read, maybe just take a picture of it and upload it on Seesaw so we can have a look.
Yeah, we spoke earlier to the Year 3 team about setting up a new folder on Seesaw, labelling it Reading Passport, so that the students could take a picture and then you can see their reading from home, which I think is a good idea.
And it will be hopefully useful for you guys as well, especially if you've got reluctant readers, to be able to say to them, oh, you know, we're going to record this and I'm going to send it to your teacher at the end of the week, and then you can have a house point for doing reading at home with me. So hopefully that will help.
There's a message from Lee Kinders. Yeah, the threads are out of stock for uniform, waiting for their call. Yeah, I think that's quite a few parents who seem to have an issue with uniform, but that's totally fine. Is that okay, Mr. Waterworth, with the uniform?
Yeah, sorry, Miss Patel, I was speaking then with the mute button on. Yeah, that's absolutely fine as long as you keep on at threads and making sure that you're trying to source the uniform as soon as you possibly can. Yeah.
There's one here, kindly email this login info for students doing remote learning this term. I see, yeah, rather than sending home the reading passports, we'll actually email you the login information. Yes, thank you.
Just another question about how do children submit their homework? Home learning?
Yeah, so we've said that we'll send the home learning books home, but rather than sending them back into school, you can just take a photograph of what the children have done and post it onto Padlet. We'll make a homework folder on the, no, sorry, not Padlet, Seesaw. We'll make a homework folder on Seesaw. So many apps and websites. Okay, great. I think that might be it.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for attending, and thank you, Year 3 team. Miss Young, do you want to say anything at the end?
Sorry, Mr. Waterworth.
Oh.
There's just one more from Kinder's. Kinder's Seesaw was deleted when she joined. No, it's still there, but because Kinder's now in school, there's no activities assigned to her because she's actually in school. So we don't have the option of assigning activities on Seesaw if the children are at school, because I've had a few parents ask me whether I can include them in the Seesaw activities because they haven't completed the work, if they don't complete the work in class. But because they're in school, we don't assign it. It's just for the remote learners at the moment. So it's not deleted, it's there, but the obvious reasons, because Kinder's in school, she won't have any activities assigned to her, because right now it's just for the remote learners.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. And
Thank you.
yeah, we'll see you maybe some of you tomorrow. And yeah, thank you again for listening.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a lovely
Thank
evening.
you.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
Welcome.